Half-Life Alyx just released, and it's been something I've been looking forward to for a really long time, and now it's here, and I can't afford it. At least, not yet. In the meantime, I've been getting my Half-Life fix by playing both the main storyline and diving back into the chaotic nightmare of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. I've played HL2DM since 2008 when I got the orange box for an early birthday present. I immediately fell in love with PC gaming, especially mouse and keyboard controls. To me, a first-person shooter was just made for the PC, and it doesn't feel quite right when using a controller. Needless to say, I became quite adept at mouse aiming and WASD controls with the fast-paced gameplay that Half-Life 2 Deathmatch had to offer. Now, over 12 years later, and not really going back to revisit in all that time, I had a lot of rust to shake off when beating back the hordes of Deathmatch veterans. Though something caught my attention more than the gameplay, and even the other players. It had been the maps. The community-made maps are a high point for any multiplayer game worth its weight in salt. That's what I'm here to talk about today. Some of the ways these maps are made are worthy of looking at. Disclaimer, yes, I know that some of these maps are in other Source Engine games, don't worry. I think it's fair that we start with the most simple map design that somehow manages to be the most effective. You're constantly exposed on all sides to every other player. Not only does a kill box have a large amount of ground to cover, they also feature verticality with lifts or teleports. Thankfully, the arsenal in Deathmatch mirrors Gordon Freeman's from the campaign, so not only do you have enough firepower for anyone within throwing distance, you have a variety of weapons to cover immense distance with no visible bullet drop. Sweet, simple, but somehow brings out the more complex tactics from the people fighting within it. A sort of big brother to the kill box, arena maps are something that can make or break a match. A poorly made arena can easily shift the tide to a one-sided affair, with one group gaining the higher ground and causing a wipe. Some really well-designed arenas range from simple circular maps with paths and features being mirrored in the middle to detailed neighborhoods and back alleys that have a big main street for showdowns. Some of the more intricate ones I've seen remind me of some sort of cathedral to some forgotten god. Towering structures made of stone and metal, with not only a labyrinth along the ground, but usually open to the air for a more vertical approach. Arenas are easier to learn, hard to hide in. They will always keep you on your feet and moving. It doesn't do much for campers either. Let me ask you, have you ever wondered what it was like to be a few inches tall? Have you ever wanted to find out what it's like all while running and gunning your way through discarded table scraps, boxes of computer parts, and video game cases? Rat Maps have you covered. Check out some amazing areas like a bedroom, and another bedroom, and a dining room table. These types of maps were some of my favorites, simply because I enjoyed other games that had a similar gimmick. Army Men Search as Heroes, Stuart Little, even Toy Story made you feel like crossing the most simple of living rooms had you feeling like you were on an amazing adventure. It's an interesting feeling to have that nostalgia while being shot at. These maps offer far more cover and opportunities to gain the high ground, whether it be from a desk, shelf, or a ceiling fan. Same rules apply from Killboxes. Here's where we come to some of my absolute favorite map types. One of the most interesting parts of the community are those who do not only make maps, but draw inspiration from the world around them. These types of maps are commonly used for role-playing in Gary's mod, but when it comes to Deathmatch, that's where things get interesting. You could have a mansion to run around in, or a completely faithful recreation of someone's actual house, one guy even going so far as to make a full 3D scan of his bedroom. It's incredibly interesting to see how people make their homes, or places they're familiar with, only to send it to a game that will soon see that place covered in blood and bullet holes. Remember Hometown 1999? The map that not only has a computer store, movie theater, and police station, they have apartments. So if you're fighting in a deathmatch, you have any number of rooms to hide in. Plenty of ways to jump out and scare the shit out of somebody. Some of my favorite moments in these kinds of maps is when you have other players pretending to actually have roles and jobs, only for them to drop the act the minute a shot rings out somewhere outside. I love going back and just messing around and checking out everything, then probably knocking everything over and then throwing ragdolls around. In conclusion, what I'm trying to get at here is I wish more people would go back and play these older arena type games. These are amazing, and I wish people would at least go back and give them another shake, you know? So, end of this is I have some homework for you, and that homework is simple. If you have an older multiplayer game gathering dust in your Steam library, go play a few rounds, check out the maps, explore. It's really interesting seeing how maps have changed throughout the years. Sometimes simplicity is perfection.